Hey, hi, how's it going, friends? It's your girl Ash Coyote. I hope you all are doing well. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A session. Of course, this was recorded live because I like doing live questions and answers. So please be sure to tune into one of the streams if you ever see them going on, and your question could be featured in the Q&A. I'm going to be trying to answer them to the best of my ability, and we're just going to have a good time. I try to be an open and honest and helpful source in our community, so whatever I can do to help, that's what I'm here for. Let's see, how often do you get hated for being a furry? So here's the thing with furry hate. People always go through their own problems, and sometimes, people just will throw shade at you and just be like, hey, you know what, I hate furries. And that sucks. Yeah, I do get hate for being a furry, but the thing of it is it doesn't really matter to me because being a furry is just a side part of my life. It's a hobby. It's something that I like to do and I have fun with. And if somebody wants to be mad at me for having fun, great. I guess let them be mad. Let them be mad for me wearing a fursuit, running around, being silly, having a great time, and enjoying my life. Do I have a favorite Twitchtuber? Yes, I do. I love Kitboga. Go check out Kitboga if you haven't. They're a scam baiter. They're awesome. They're really, really cool. I just love all their content. They do a lot of YouTube videos too. It's a good time. How have you been doing since your surgery, Ash? Well, I've been doing great. My surgery was kind of rough for the first 2 weeks. And afterwards, I haven't noticed. I'm feeling great. I feel fantastic. I've just been taking it really easy for the past few months and trying my best to be happy and just enjoy life. So yeah. Do I have any pets? I do. I have 2 pets. I have 2 dogs. They're both American dingoes, also known as Carolina dogs. One is named Ginger and one is named Diego. They're both sweet, amazing animals. Have you ever been to any VR furry cons like Furry? Yes, I have. I went to the VR Eurofurence and I checked out a few other, VR cons. I actually really love VR. So what you can't see behind me right now is I have a VR treadmill. I have a bunch of VR stuff set up here. I was actually planning on doing my own VR YouTube channel. I just never got around to creating the content because of the film work that I was working on. So that kind of stuff happens, of course, but I love VR. I think VR is kind of one of the future frontiers of the fandom. I think that it's only going to continue to grow the fandom, and I think it's amazing. Heck, look at this. I have a VTube model right now that's just an animated version of my Sona, and I'm talking to y'all with it live. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, isn't it? What is your version of inner peace? That is a really good question. I think to understand my own personal space here, as far as inner peace goes, it's to be comfortable inside and out, to have a place where I feel safe and a place where I feel like I belong. Really what I seek out in life is happiness. Just the core of, the core of my own, being. It's how can I, live the best life I possibly can with the time that I have. How did I meet my husband? Well, I was invited over to this housewarming party by a friend, mutual, and they were like, hey, there's this really nice furry, just moved to the area. You should meet them. I go there, I meet this wonderful guy, cute little redhead with glasses, and I immediately am just head over heels for him. I'm just oh my God, so sweet. So we get to talking during the housewarming party, and I leave and I forget to ask for his number. So I asked my friend for his number, and then at the same time, he apparently also asked my friend for my number, and so we just exchanged contacts, and we've been together ever since. Literally, we've been together almost 14 years now. 14 years! It's crazy. Honestly, my husband has been the most positive, wonderful influence in my life, and I adore them. I adore them so much. What do you think of Romanian furries? Also, have you met any? No, I've not met any Romanian furries. Are you a Romanian furry? And if so, what is it like over there? I'd love to check out what the fandom's like down in Romania. I'm constantly fascinated by how the fandom exists around the world. Think about this. The fandom is international, of course. We've been seeing huge growth in South America, in Central America, and Asia, and of course in Europe too. It has been ever expanding. And I am absolutely absolutely thrilled to see that, of course. I'm also curious how the fandom exists over there. I've met a Russian furry who helped translate the fandom to Russian, I think. Through my experience in creating the film, The Fandom, I got to meet a lot of folks from around the world, even though I didn't get a focus on that in the film. Where did you get your current fursuit from? Well, I have a couple different fursuits, of course. My most recent fursuit is made by Mixed Candy. Mixed Candy is a classic fursuit maker from kind of the 2000s. I love their style so much. They've perfected it a lot over the years. Recently, they've been utilizing like 3D printing and stuff. I believe they're on YouTube at Latin Vixen. When I was a kid, my first fursuit that I ever saw, the first fursuit that I ever saw was made by Mixed Candy. And at that point I was like, oh my God, I want a fursuit from Mixed Candy. In fact, it was so much so that at one point I borrowed my parents' credit card, ordered a fursuit from Mixed Candy and had it canceled. That's an embarrassing story. Yeah, that was super awkward. But I did that, and of course it got canceled on the thing, and oof, it was rough. It was rough. Young furry problems. Everybody wants a fursuit. Everybody needs a fursuit. I am 33. Have you ever gotten pushback for being older in the fandom? So I am also 33. For those of you that don't know, yes, I'm a 33-year-old coyote. I'm old. Okay, I'm old. Don't judge me. Don't judge me too harshly. We all age, okay? I have gotten some pushback for being older, but at the same time, I think that this is just one of those things that you can't really sit down and be like, hey, I'm gonna define furries as only being a certain age group, or furries can only be XYZ. No, that just doesn't work out. There are tons of older furries out there. Obviously, I interviewed several of them in my film, The Fandom. And, they're still a part of the fandom. That's the thing. They're literally the grandparents of the furry fandom. Furries come in all ages, shapes, and sizes, and, it's important to accept folks for who they are. Was there a point where you wanted to quit the fandom? Yes. There have been many points in my life where I wanted to quit the fandom. This is the hard thing. I do genuinely love furries. My husband's a furry. Will probably always be furries, but sometimes you can run into challenges within the community itself. You might run into, varying degrees of conflict or drama that really cause a lot of personal pain and strife, and it gets frustrating. I had a really hard time after I released the film. I've kind of talked about this publicly since, of course, and there was a point where I was just like, hey, I put this thing out, and the only thing that I could see, the only visible thing that I could see was all the negative. And there was a lot of people that were really upset about the film and, like what the film was. I got varying messages from people, both furry haters or furries that think that I either went through the fandom and didn't tell the history correctly, or people that just hated the people that I picked out to, interview, when in all actuality it was just, all volunteer basis and done on the tightest budget ever. And so there's just a lot of misunderstandings and misconceptions, and that led me to a point where I just got really depressed, and I didn't really feel like interacting with the fandom. In fact, you can see that on my channel because you see me stepping out of my fursuit more, and I'm just like, hey, this is just Ash now. You can see it in all the videos of that time period that, I was just struggling with depression. I put on 40 pounds of weight. I got so depressed. Things just got kind of crazy and out there, and we did a lot for a little, and I am not ashamed of saying that. And I love the film. So there, take that. Ash Coyote loves the film, and she's happy about it. So there. Haha. What are my thoughts on little furs and baby furs? Well, that's a good question. Honestly, if this is something that you're into, if, let's say you want to pretend to be, a child or a baby or something, fine. That's okay. It's my same view as everything else in the fandom, really. If that helps you, if that makes you feel happy, then, more power to you. I do not agree with the adult aspects around that particular segment for obvious reasons, but if it's just kind of as a wholesome experience, if it's just something that you like because that's how you want to maybe de-stress from the world, fine. It's okay. I don't judge. Hopefully other folks won't either. I don't know. So there's that. Here's another question, a good question. Do I plan to do more videos like the fandom? Yes, I do actually. I'm kind of currently working on a docu-series with the editor and co-director, Ash. They are such an amazing person. They're at Furry Filmmaker on Twitter, so please go check them out. They're working on a project with me right now where we're kind of cutting together a lot of the stuff that wasn't shown in the fandom, the film. We have a lot of footage. We recorded a lot. I'd initially planned on doing a season 2 with supplemental stuff over the course of that year at conventions. And of course, one of the things that happened was COVID. Big surprise. But I do plan on doing more. In fact, I'm probably going to try and fundraise a little bit for that so I can pay for the edit, because guess what? Editors need to live too. Virtually almost all of the budget of the fandom went into Ash, because Ash is incredible. And when I say Ash, I mean Furry Filmmaker Ash, not me Ash, because we're both Ash. Do you have any advice for young trans kids that can't get on hormone blockers? Well, for starters, remember, you're not alone, okay? This is a challenging time in your life. It's gonna be hard, but you will be okay and you will get through it. Try to reach out to any local trans or LGBT shelters or organizations. I know there's like a lot of places where you can go and just be yourself. Also, you know, like build up a support system around you, whether it's friends online or people in person. Anybody who can just add that little bit of positivity to your life and help you move forward is going to make a huge difference. So try your best, hang in there, and remember that, you know, like with time you'll be able to do everything that you need to do. Are you familiar with a webcomic called Rain? No, I'm not familiar with a webcomic called Rain. Is it furry? I'd love to know a little bit more about it. I'll check it out. One of my first ever webcomics that I obsessed over was called Two Kinds, which was really awesome in its own right, at least for the time that it came out. I know that it's just been in kind of continuum since then, and is probably one of the longest running webcomics that I've seen that's furry, so I mean, it's really cool. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, tune into the streams if you want to ask me a question for one of my Q&As. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you aren't already, and drop me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of these Q&As. Let me know if you have a question you want to ask me that, you know, might not be able to make it into a stream for. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Love you all. Goodbye.